Welcome to the Embodied Empath Podcast, the space where sensitive, intuitive women learn to regulate their nervous system, heal anxiety, and live with grounded confidence. I'm your host, Valerie Lundgren. Let's begin. Okay, so I want to start with something that might surprise you a bit. Sometimes, the thing your nervous system fears the most is not stress. It's actually joy. If you've ever noticed that when something good happens, you immediately start to brace. Or when things start feeling calm, you wait for the other shoe to drop. Or when you start to feel happy, you suddenly start feeling anxious instead. This episode is for you. Welcome back to the Embodied Empath Podcast. I'm your host, Valerie Lundgren, and today we're talking about why joy can feel unsafe after long-term survival mode. So when you've lived in this chronic stress, your nervous system becomes organized around protection. It learns to anticipate, scan, brace, and prepare. It learns that control equals safety. So when something good happens, the system doesn't relax. It asks, what's the catch? How long will this last? What do I need to prepare for? Because unpredictability feels dangerous, even when it's positive. So let's talk about what's really happening biologically. Joy activates the nervous system too. It increases your heart rate, your energy, your openness, your vulnerability, and your connection. To a well-regulated system, this will feel expansive. To a survival-wired system, it feels exposed. So when you've experienced this disappointment, betrayal, loss, unpredictable caregiving, emotional instability, or a sudden change, your nervous system has learned, hey, don't get too comfortable here. And let's not get too attached. And maybe we shouldn't be feeling too much. Because attachment plus loss equals pain. So the body protects you by dampening the joy or interrupting it with anxiety. So how does this impact you as an empath? As empaths, we already feel deeply. Joy for an empath isn't mild. It's full body. It's open-hearted. It's a surrender. And surrender requires safety. So if your system is used to scanning for danger and openness, it can feel like vulnerability. And vulnerability without safety feels threatening. So instead of letting yourself enjoy the moment, you downplay it, you make a joke, you might minimize it, you prepare for loss, you look for what could go wrong. So that's not pessimism, it's just protection. And women, we really struggle to receive joy. Many women are praised for being strong, being reliable, being selfless, or being composed. Not for being delightful and delighted, or being radiant, or being carefree, or being fully expressed. So joy can also feel too loud, or too much, or too visible. Especially if somewhere in your history, being too happy led to criticism or jealousy, maybe disappointment, withdrawal, or instability. Your nervous system remembers these things. So, when you've been in fight or flight, freeze or fawn for years, your system starts to calibrate to that contraction. It's tight, it's controlled, it's contained. And joy is expansion. Expansion feels like opening the chest, lifting the chin, softening the belly, breathing deeper. And for some bodies, that openness actually feels unfamiliar. And that unfamiliar will then equal uncertain. And the uncertain equals unsafe. So you see why joy is actually hard for many empaths who have been in survival state for so long, because we don't really know what joy feels like. And I hear this so often with my clients, where we're trying to find our little sparks of joy. And it takes a little while for us to discover a spark of joy. Now, as empaths and those of us working through nervous system regulation, I'll give you one of my tips on finding joy. We're going to go through a somatic practice next too. But one of my little sparks of joy that I like to start integrating with my clients is finding one little thing each morning that brings you a little bit of a smile or just a little bit of like contentment. It doesn't have to be grand laughter. It doesn't have to be like super joyful, super gratitude. It could be just like the smell of your coffee in the morning. That brings me a little bit of joy when I smell that coffee, right? Or the sun just kind of shining on your face as you're driving or as you wake up in the morning. Noticing just that little bit. Or smelling a flower. So just notice little joy points throughout your day. Again, they can be really small. Make them micro. And then as you continue practicing that, make them a little bit bigger. Find bigger things that bring you joy throughout the day. And what you're doing is you're retraining the nervous system that joy, that expansiveness can be safe. But we're going to start in little increments until we get to that bigger space. So keep working your way up and try that this week and let me know how that goes. So we're going to do a somatic practice that actually integrates this. It's expansion with safety. So again, doing these somatic practices, I invite you to do them when you are not driving. Please don't do this while you're driving. Do this while at home or in a safe environment where you can take a couple minutes to focus on your body intentionally. Okay? So today, we're not going to force joy. We're going to practice tolerating that small expansion. So go ahead and just sit comfortably. Place both hands on your lap and your feet on the ground. Now, gently straighten your spine. Not rigid, just lifted. So kind of bringing the shoulders back a little bit. Open the chest about 5% more. Just there we go. Open it up a little bit. We're not going to go too big. This isn't a yoga pose, just a little. And take one inhale into that space. And silently say to yourself, I can experience good things without losing myself. Now, soften slightly back to neutral. We're teaching your nervous system expansion does not equal danger. Joy does not equal loss. Openness does not equal threat. You can practice this anytime something good happens. Instead of bracing, pause, breathe, stay for 3 seconds longer than you normally would. That is building capacity. Great. Now, healing is not about reducing anxiety. Nope. It's about increasing your capacity for safety, for connection, for rest, for joy. We have to increase that capacity so you can hold space for it. Anxiety is always going to be there, guys. How we handle it is the turning point for our healing. You are allowed to feel good without paying for it later. You are allowed to experience calm without waiting for impact. And you are also allowed to expand without collapsing in afterwards. So if joy has felt uncomfortable lately, it doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means your nervous system is still learning, and that's okay. This is not about forcing happiness. It's about increasing your tolerance for goodness. So if this episode resonated with you, subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Share this with a woman who can't enjoy a good moment without bracing. And you can also download your free nervous system PDF at mindfulwellness.me. Just know you don't need to shrink to stay safe anymore. I'll see you in the next episode. This episode supported you. Share it with another empath who needs it. And if you're ready for deeper work, somatic coaching, nervous system healing, or my Embodied Reset program, just visit mindfulwellness.me. Your healing is not a solo journey. See you next week.